I played with these pretty much the whole back half of last season, and I was doing pretty good in them. And I wore them this fall just with the idea of, hey, I'm going to tear these tights up before the season starts. And I did really good, so now I'm going to keep wearing them.
Coach just talked about 8 different options out there in the outfield, I guess. Just tell me about kind of how that group is, progressing, and what do you like about having that many, playing partners around you, and what are maybe some of the challenges if there are, or is communication really good and none of this is a factor?
There's a lot of versatility. There's a lot of new guys out there. I know a lot of the time people like to talk about Chris Stanfield and Derek Curiel and being 2 new guys that are rolling out in an outfield in Alex Box Stadium. But both of those guys are extremely talented. I think Derek may be the most impressive freshman I've ever seen. Communicating with them in the outfield seems really easy. I think the game comes natural to both of them too, and a lot of the new outfielders that we brought in, as well as the guys that returned, like Josh, Mick Paul. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of variability, and I think it's going to be a really successful group.
Just take a baby step forward. Just to the mic. Thanks.
What when it comes to your offensive game, does it really help your improvement when you can just sort of square in and focus on the offense, and you don't have to worry about throwing a bullpen one day or getting ready to pitch for the next day or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just being able to be where my feet are and trying to limit all the stuff that can affect me on the outside, whether that's what's going on the next day, what's going on the previous day, whether that's pitching, whether that's schoolwork, anything. If I can just eliminate that and focus on being in the batter's box and doing my job at that time, it always makes it easier.
I think Coach mentioned that you took like a leap offensively during this past fall. Like, what do you think was sort of the cause of that leap?
I think a little bit of maturity. This wasn't my freshman year anymore. I know Coach Johnson talks a lot about the big jump as being from a player's freshman year to their sophomore year, and I was a lot more comfortable in there. I think I was able to work on my mental game a lot in summer ball and really applying that. And like I said, being one pitch at a time, being where my feet are, I was able to kind of take everything that I've worked on and put it into use.
You've added some 10 pounds since last year. Like, what was your sort of like diet routine or workout routine or whatever that got you that weight?
Well, we brought in a new strength coach, Chris Martin, and I think he's done a really good job with not just me but all of our guys. I think if you take a look at our team, just in the uniform, everyone fills out the jersey a lot better this year, and it'll help out not just me but a lot of us. I think we have some really strong guys. We have some physical guys that can make a contribution to this team.
Coach said he feels comfortable with any of 8 guys in the outfield. How many do you think it was last year? 5 or 6? Or?
I know there was a handful of us that shuffled around a lot during the season. I'd be lying if I could tell you the number, but I do feel really good about this year's outfield team.
How about just the communication in general? This many new pieces and parts, how do y'all fit? And last time I think we talked to players, you guys haven't faced any adversity. Coach started to talk a little bit about it today. Guys getting some playing time, guys not getting some playing time. How much of a dynamic shifter is that in people understanding that it's a long season and maybe because you're not playing early doesn't mean you play middle or late?
Right. I don't think that that'll be much of a problem for this year's team just because we've talked a lot. We've had a lot of team development, and I think that everyone has one unique goal, and that's to win a national championship this year. And I think that everyone's willing to accept their role. Everyone's willing to put the team first. Like, we have a shirt that says team over me, and I think that's going to be a big step in this year, and everyone contributing. Like, we could play 15 guys in a game that we win 7-4, and that'll be huge for our team just because there's so many pieces. Everyone's working to one common goal, and that'll be huge for us.
What have you seen in the staff so far? Gives you a lot of confidence, I guess, in the guys running out there?
Pitching staff, you mean?
Yeah.
It's really good. Really, really good. I think coming back from this spring is probably the most adversity I've faced as a hitter personally, and a lot of that I think is a tip of the cap to the pitchers. I think we have a lot of good guys. I think Coach Yeski's doing a great job with what we have.
Yeah, Gabe said that couldn't tell if you were a good defensive team because the number of strikeouts, I guess, so they're tying you up a little bit up there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, a tip of the cap to them. They're doing their job. The reason they're here is to get guys like us out. And I think if they're getting our offense out, then they're going to have a lot of success this spring.
Are you a better hitter because you're also a pitcher? Does that make sense?
In a way, I think I can understand what the pitcher is trying to do just because I've been on the other side of the ball as well, and I know what I'm trying to do in certain counts maybe. But it definitely helps at some points.
Seeing it in Schmitty, just a freshman with a lot of upside. You know, how does he handle the moment? And obviously it's different for him, right? Because this is his hometown. And he kind of knows the expectations and what people are thinking of him. How's he handling all that?
I don't think the kid feels pressure, to be honest with you. I think he just rolls out there and he enjoys being on the mound. I think he has a lot of fun up there. And I think this is something that he's been wanting to do his whole life, and he's fully taken advantage of that.
Are you noticing in the scrimmages and stuff, you guys maybe more aggressive on the base path because you got a little more athleticism, possibly?
Definitely a little bit. There's going to be a lot of different ways that we can win a game. It's not going to be straight gorilla ball, which there will be times we'll hit our homers, we'll hit our doubles, but we're going to be able to manufacture runs without getting hits, I think, and that'll be something that takes us to the next level.
What's your relationship with Chris Stanfield like? Has he taught you anything yet?
I love him. We spend a lot of time together in the outfield, obviously, throughout practice, scrimmages, or whatever. Kind of seems like we're always on the same team, and that's a good thing. I love being out there with him. I love sharing the field with him, and he's an awesome dude. Glad to have him here.
Got some range?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If there's a ball in the gap, he's getting to it.
How advanced is Derek Curiel as a freshman? You were kind of in his shoes last year, right? Big recruit and got some early playing time. Could you see him kind of following that kind of trend too?
Yeah, no doubt. I wouldn't be surprised if he did better than I did. Kid can play, and I think the expectation was that he was going to come here and he was going to do really good right off the bat. And I don't think it would be out of pocket to say that he's exceeded expectations a little bit. And I think that kid's going to have a lot of good baseball here for the next couple of years.
How much more comfortable are you this year, kind of having gone through last year and have that behind you now, to kind of know the expectations as you feel like?
I feel better. I'm really excited. I know that just because I know how fun the season is. I know what it's like when the box is rocking out there, and I'm just really excited to get to it.
How do you kind of handle like the depth of the outfield room? Because there's so many of you guys that could play, but only obviously like 3 or 4, whatever it is, can play at a time in terms of DH and whatever. How do you kind of handle the pressure of getting that playing time?
It's definitely a competition, but I think it's a competition that makes everyone better. It's not like a salty, I'm mad that this guy's playing and I'm not. I think it's everyone's coming together to make all of the teammates the best that they can be. And like I said earlier, I think there will be times where we roll out maybe 4 or 5 different guys out there in one game, whatever it takes to win, and I think everyone's okay with that.
All right, thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jake.